Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a complicated game. This is probably the most split I've ever seen the community. You have people who are new to the game and love it, you have some hardcore fans who don't like it, and there's obviously a lot of people in between. Before we jump into my thoughts though, today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Have you ever wanted to learn how to edit videos, take high quality photos, or even learn game design? Well, Skillshare has multiple courses and classes that can help. Whether you just started out or have been practicing in one of those fields for years, there is something for you. Visit the link in the description, and the first 500 people to sign up will get a free 2-month trial. Again, Skillshare.com is the perfect learning community. Check it out. A link is in the description down below. As I've always said, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a fun game. From sparring kicking enemies off a mountain, from hearing those beautiful sea shanties when exploring the seas, there is a ton of stuff to do, which can also be a disadvantage to this game. Odyssey will take at least 50 hours to complete, and there is definitely a portion of that will feel repetitive. For example, taking on an enemy base is fun. But once you realize you'll need to do that at least 50 more times, it can start to feel pretty boring by the end of it. This is a problem because side quests are basically mandatory. To do a lot of the main quests, you'll need to level up Alexios or Cassandra, and to be fair, some of the side quests can be fun, and they all offer fully animated cutscenes, but at the end of the day, these are still side quests that you're being forced to do most of the time. Speaking of the main characters, you get to pick between Alexios or Cassandra. I decided to go with Alexios because I saw he was getting a ton of hate for his voice acting. But after playing with him, I actually disagree with that claim. I thought Alexios was fine. I'm not gonna lie, Cassandra definitely has a better voice actor, but in my mind, I still didn't think Alexios was as bad as people were saying. As many of you know, Assassin's Creed Odyssey decided to become a full-on RPG. While Origins had some RPG elements, specifically the leveling and armor system, Odyssey decided to take that to the next level and give us dialogue options for absolutely everything. As an RPG, I think this game is fine. The armor selection is fantastic, the leveling system is mostly okay. However, the story aspect kind of falls short. There is maybe 2 or 3 big moments where I felt like my choice had an impact, but besides that, there was really nothing. If you're expecting an RPG to the extent of The Witcher 3, you're gonna be disappointed. Another disappointing element of the story was the modern day. I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck about Layla and her story. Props to Ubisoft for at least bringing back a character, but at this point, she's 0 for 2. Her story is a bit better than Origins, but honestly, I'd rather play AC4's modern day. It's sad because I'm one of the few people left who actually care about the modern day, but it's clear that Ubisoft don't really at this point. When they decided to put Juno in the comics, that's when you just knew it was over with. At this point, I feel like more people probably despise the present day more than ever. I honestly don't know what the solution is. If they get rid of it entirely, Assassin's Creed will lose its identity, but it kinda already has. While Odyssey has a decent story, I just never felt like I was playing an Assassin's Creed game. There's no Brotherhood, no Hidden Blade, no social stealth, and most of the outfits aren't really robes or assassin attire. At least there is some first Civ stuff, but it's still not really enough to warrant the name Assassin's Creed. And listen, I'm fine with some changes. This series is over 10 years old. However, from a story and even gameplay perspective, this could have easily been called something else. To Odyssey's credit though, it doesn't entirely ruin the lore like that one movie that we've all just erased from our memory. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Listen, at the end of the day, I actually liked the story Odyssey told. It wasn't a Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War, but it was fun and mostly well written. If you're a casual fan, you'll most likely enjoy it. If you're looking for that classic Assassin's Creed story, there will be some elements, but even less than Origins. Combat was definitely one of my favorite aspects of this game. It's mostly a step up from Origins with some new abilities like the famous Spartan kick. There's 3 different skill trees which reward different playstyles like hand-to-hand combat, ranged attacks, or stealth takedowns. If you played Origins, you'll know what to expect when it comes to the different weapons as well. You have spears, daggers, maces, blunts, and different bows too. The only thing that's missing is shields, which was kinda sad to see. Personally, I always prefer using a mix of daggers and bows, but I did switch up my weapons fairly often. Assassin's Creed Odyssey definitely feels like it rewards stealth gameplay the most. You can obviously tackle missions any way you want, but with that said, it's just much easier to go in stealth and assassinate enemies first. Once you get spotted, it can just be difficult to take out multiple enemies at once. I often found myself trying to hide once getting spotted, as it's just easier and faster to perform stealth takedowns. As far as takedowns go though, there is a ton of different animations depending on how you finish them off. Sometimes I did notice small visual bugs during these, but regardless, they're bloody and just great to watch. Before I forget, I want to talk a little bit about parkour, as it's something I have mixed feelings on. Just like with Origins, I love the fact you can climb up rocks and objects that you normally couldn't in previous games, but I find myself never really doing any parkour on rooftops just because the world isn't really made for it. When you're in these bigger cities, it's just easier to navigate on your horse. It just doesn't feel satisfying climbing on buildings anymore. And overall, I feel like parkour in this series has actually gotten worse since Unity. It's fun to climb statues and various viewpoints, but besides that, I feel like parkour got a bit sidelined in this game. One big difference when comparing this game to Origins though is Naval Combat. It's back and I loved it. Origins had a dedicated mission, but Odyssey takes it a step further with featuring it in the open worlds. There's sea shanties, a bunch of ship customization, and even lieutenants. So if you miss UbIC or Evie Fry, you can put them on your boat and sail the seas with them. Is that not great? Yeah, let's not talk about that either. One last thing I have to praise, and this is just with any Ubisoft game, is the setting. They recreated ancient Greece perfectly. It's a beautiful world to be in. Sometimes I'll just stop for a moment and look at my surroundings. It's just look at this world. It's nice. Even for a world this big, it's super detailed and just looks amazing. Overall, I think Odyssey was definitely a big improvement over Ubisoft Quebec's last game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. While I still prefer Origins, I don't think this is a bad game and it offers a ton of content. Anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.